Hi there everybody and welcome along to the Big Quiz Night In. It's episode 112. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, we've got our usual lineup of quiz rounds tonight for you. Different subjects again this evening, followed by the game shows that we usually bring to you. So tonight we do have three different quiz rounds. Sport and leisure is round number one this evening. Then we're going to do a what comes next quiz. I'll explain a bit more about what that is when we get to it. We've got a potluck round at the end of the evening before we go into our game shows rounds, which will be catchphrases and our survey says. If you were watching on last week or if you're a regular, then you know all about that. Let's see who is in the chat this evening then. Let's have a quick look. We've got Sue and the Donuts joining us. Hello, hope you're all well. We've also got Mark joining us, the Funky Chickens and his team from Guernsey. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it last week as well, Mark. I think you were with Sue, weren't you, if I remember rightly. We've got Team Bath in the chat. It's been a while since Team Bath have joined us, so welcome back. Hope you're doing good. We've got Gabby as well saying hi everyone. Pinky and the Brain are here. Excellent. Millie's here too saying good evening, and Jew in the chat there as well. Good evening all. Just Jew and Ant tonight. Okay, so half of the Britzillions. That's okay. Welcome along. And Andy's there as well in the chat saying good evening to everyone. Welcome all. Okay, so just before we start then, we're going to give you an opportunity to get some bonus points, which you can then add to your total score for any of the three rounds after that. Bit of fun, and it gives me a chance to involve my kids in what I do here. So let's see which, or maybe both of them, will be here in just a moment. And here they are, everybody. We have got both of them. Come into the shot a little bit, my darling. You're not there. She's going to stand out there. Okay. Well, they are both here. Maybe she'll show her face. There we go. Right. So both the kids are here. They're going to ask a question, and if you get it right, this is one you do put your guesses into the comments for.
I'm too tall. Let me go.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm a bit lower down tonight. If you do get this right, you get bonus points for your team.
Can I sit on the arm of your chair?
Let me raise this up a bit. Hold on a minute. Let's go up a bit more.
You still can't see me.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll do. Okay, all right. So let's bring up the question then. Ruben, do you want to ask the question this time? Please don't do that behind my head. Here we go. Right.
Releasing this month, what is the title of the latest Legend of Zelda game?
Yeah. And then Abby, do you want to read this out?
So A, Breath of the Wild. B, Majora's Mask. C, Tears of the Kingdom. Or D, A Link to the Past.
So have a guess in the chat. A, B, C or D. You can guess. Anybody who's watching along who's got a device watching tonight, have a guess. If you get it right, you get bonus points. I wonder.
I see
how many people
already.
How many people do you think can get it right this time? I wonder.
Probably like 3 or maybe more.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be a wild guess for many of you, but we like to do something that the kids are interested in for these particular questions.
Okay, there's 4, 5,
Some guesses
6,
we've got.
7.
Yes, okay, that's not bad. That's all the teams that have said hello in the chat, so that might be everybody that's actually watching this evening. Okay, let's go through them then. So we've got Jenny saying C, Gabby saying C, Ju says B, Sue's not sure, she's gone with D, Andy says wild guess D, Mark has also gone with C. Okay, let's reveal the answer then, shall we? Both together, what's it? C. Tears of the Kingdom comes out in a few days' time.
I would like to point out you put Kingdom.
Kingdom, I did. Well spotted. It's good attention to detail.
And also, I think it's
very awful spelling. Go back to school.
I think it's also Tears of Kingdom.
No, it's definitely. I looked it up.
Oh.
I spelt that bit wrong, but it is Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. Right. So bonus points then. Abby, who's got bonus points then?
Jenny.
Yep.
Gabby,
Jenny, and
Mark.
Mark, you've all got your bonus points. So you get to have 2 bonus points you can add on tonight. 2 bonus points you can add on to your score of any of the 3 rounds we go through first before we get into the game shows round. And that's it. Thank you very much, kids. We'll move on to the next round. Be very quickly.
Okay, so to keep the Chromebook on, guess what song I played?
What did you play?
Never Gonna Give You Up.
Of course you did.
You literally put it on 11 hours.
Bye-bye.
Video.
Goodness me. Crazy kids as always. Thank you all for that, guys. I hope you appreciate the extra bonus question there you get in the evening. We've also now got sport and leisure round coming up. That's round number 1, and there is now a countdown conundrum on screen. If you can work out the countdown conundrum by the end of this round, you get yourselves another 2 bonus points. So that means with the kids question and with the countdown conundrum, you can have 4 bonus points tonight for those that got the kids question right, but you can only add that on once. The countdown conundrums will be different every round, as I've done previously. So yeah, but don't guess any more in the comments for these 3 quiz rounds. I'll let you know what the answers are at the end of the rounds. You can ask me for repeats of questions at the end of the rounds as well. And yeah, when we go through the team scores at the end, you can submit them to me in the comments. We celebrate with those who do well, and we commiserate with those who perhaps don't do so well. But it's fine, because you are just here to have some fun, get in the chat, and have a laugh on your evening, okay? Brilliant. Right, so, yeah, Andy's saying cheers to Abby and Rue. They do like getting involved in this, so it's great. Thank you for sticking with us for that one. So, here we go then. Round number 1. Remember, don't put anything in the comments now. Let's see how many of these you get correct. In the subject of sport and leisure, 15 questions, 1 point for each correct answer, unless otherwise stated. Question number 1. Which country is the home of samba dancing? Which country is the home of samba dancing? Question number 2. In which town on the Thames is a royal regatta held every summer? In which town on the Thames is a royal regatta held every summer? Question number 3. This one is for 3 points. Which American football teams are Falcons, Raiders, and Vikings? Which American football teams are Falcons, Raiders, and Vikings? 1 point for each again for that one. Of course, if anybody wanted repeats at the end of the round, that then does give everybody a little bit more thinking time with their answers. Question number 4. What term is given to the activity of researching one's family tree? What term is given to the activity of researching one's family tree? Okay, question 5 now for 2 points. By the end of 2016, which male and female tennis stars were ranked number 1 in the world? Which male and female tennis stars were ranked number 1 in the world by the end of 2016? 2 very successful tennis players, well worth a guess. 1 point for each. Question number 6 then. In which sport could you score a wazari, an ippon, and a yuko? This is for 1 point, it's the same sport. In which sport could you score a wazari, an ippon, and a yuko? Question number 7 now, question 7. Which match has the longest playing time? American football, rugby league, or a polo match? Which match has the longest playing time between American football, rugby league, and a polo match? Question 8 is for 3 points. Which footballers were nicknamed the Little P, the Commander, and the Cannon of Wales? Which footballers were nicknamed the Little P, the Commander, and the Cannon of Wales? Question number 9 now. Question 9. Britons named Ellen Faulkner and Nick Brett were world champions in which sport? Britons named Ellen Faulkner and Nick Brett were men's and women's champions in which sport? For 1 point. Question number 10, this one is for 3 points. Question 10, in which sports might you see a Fosbury flop, a Boston crab, and an Eskimo roll? In which sports might you see a Fosbury flop, a Boston crab, and an Eskimo roll? 1 point for each again for that one. Okay, then your next question then. Question number 11. What is the maximum number of players allowed to play a game of Monopoly? What is the maximum number of players allowed to play a game of Monopoly? Question 12 now. Question number 12. Which rugby league team are known as the Giants? Which rugby league team are Giants? Question 13 now. This one's for 3 more points. Athletes can have a TUE. But what does this medical related initialism stand for? Question 13 again. Athletes can have a TUE, but what does this medical related initialism stand for? 1 point for each correct word. Question 14 now, question number 14. What are the 4 player positions in the game of Quidditch? What are the 4 player positions in the game called Quidditch? And finally, question 15. Name the 3 most recent countries to host the Commonwealth Games. Name the 3 most recent countries to host the Commonwealth Games. Now, I'll be generous and give you a little bit of a hint here. You need to remember that the Commonwealth is considered the breakdown of all countries. So the UK would not be correct. If one of the 3 answers or more is a country from the UK, it's the specific country, okay? But the Commonwealth is also far wider than just the UK. So, which are the 3 most recent countries to host the Commonwealth Games? 1 point for each. You can write them in any order. I'm obviously not going to be able to check that. But that is the end of the sport and leisure round. So let me know now if you have any questions that you want me to repeat. Sometimes I can go through these quite quickly, but because I'm not sat with you, it can be quite difficult to judge how quickly I should read them out, okay? So I'll try and keep to a steady pace, giving you a little bit more time for the bigger questions. But let me know now if you want any questions repeated. I'll keep an eye on the chat while we do that. And a reminder to everybody that there's a link in the description if you'd like to follow me on social media anywhere other than Facebook. I post on TikTok. I post on Lima for audio quizzes. There's all sorts going on. Instagram occasionally. Twitter I'm on as well if you want to keep in touch. I'm there as well. And yeah, there's lots of places you can follow me there where I provide other quiz content. Millie says, fun fact, I was the parade leader at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Well, I hope you were paying attention where you were, because that means you're guaranteed a point. That's very cool. Nice one. You led out the Australia team holding the Australia placard. Oh, that's awesome. Question 13, Andy's asked for. I have a blank and want to know if I genuinely don't know. Okay, right. Question 13, Andy, was athletes can have a TUE. What does this medical-related initialism stand for? 1 point for each correct word, so try and have a guess there. Definitely worth having a guess. You should find that with every question, really, because if you leave it blank, you've definitely got it wrong. And if you have a guess, then you've got a chance, however small that chance may be. Okay, no more requests have come in for repeats. So this is also last few seconds you've got now to have a look at that countdown conundrum, see if you can work out what that is. Remember, you get 2 bonus points if you get that correct. I will reveal what that is once I've gone through the answers for this quiz round. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Which country is the home of samba dancing? That is Brazil. Question 2. In which hometown on the Thames is a royal regatta held every summer? That is Henley. Question 3. Which American football teams are Falcons, Raiders and Vikings? It is the Atlanta Falcons, the Las Vegas Raiders, it was Oakland and the franchise has moved around a bit, but Las Vegas Raiders currently, and the Minnesota Vikings. Question 4. What term is given to the activity of researching one's family tree? It is genealogy. Question 5. Which male and female tennis stars were ranked number 1 in the world by the end of 2016? That's Novak Djokovic and Angelique Kerber. Question 6. In which sport could you score a Wazari, an Ippon and a Yuko? It is judo. I actually did judo for 10 years, just over 10 years growing up. I remember all those words very well. Question 7. Which match has the longest playing time between American football, rugby league and a polo match? The answer is rugby league. That is 80 minutes long, whereas the others are 60 and 35 respectively. You may have thought American football has the longest game time, but it's not. It's just because it stops and starts so much. Yeah, just keep an eye on the chat there. I thought something else had popped up, but no. Okay, right. Your next question then was number 8. Which footballers were nicknamed the Little P, the Commander, and the Cannon of Wales? The Little P was Javier Hernandez. Chicharito, he was also known as. Cristiano Ronaldo was the Commander, and Gareth Bale was known as the Cannon of Wales. I've never heard him called that. I'm a Spurs fan, so loved him playing for Tottenham, obviously. Never heard him called that, but fair enough. Question 9. Britain's named Ellen Faulkner and Nick Brett are the current, or were, sorry, at the time of writing, the men's and world champions of which sport? They are big names in the indoor bowls sport. I'll forgive you if you didn't get that one right. Question 10. In which sports could you see a Fosbury flop, a Boston crab, and an Eskimo roll? Fosbury flop is a technique in the high jump. The Boston crab is a technique from wrestling, and an Eskimo roll is canoeing or kayaking. Question 11. What is the maximum number of players allowed to play a game of Monopoly? It is 8. I can barely stand the game when it's only 4 of us. Unless it's the Star Wars equivalent, that one's quite fun. But the normal one, no thank you. Let alone play with 8 people. Question 12. Which rugby league team are Giants? It is the Huddersfield Giants. Question 13. Athletes can have a TUE, but what does this medical-related initialism stand for? It is a therapeutic use exemption. So it means that they can basically get away with using medical drugs that could otherwise get them banned. Therapeutic use exemption. 3 points, 1 point for each correct word. Question 14. What are the 4-player positions in the game of Quidditch? 1 point for each here. Chasers, beaters, keepers, and seekers. And question 15. The 3 most recent countries to host Commonwealth Games: England, Australia, and Scotland. For 3 points. Now, the answer for the countdown conundrum for a bonus 2 points is butternut. Butternut is the answer there. Okay, let's tally up your scores then, and let me know in the comments how well you did. We'll give you all a shout out. No pressure if you don't want to put your team score in the comments. It's fine. You don't have to. Just a bit of fun and adds to the pub quiz atmosphere we try and have here. That we do all have funny quiz team names and team scores read out and all that. So let's see how well some of you did. Right, I can see some comments are coming through now. Funky Chickens, Mark says they got 15 points. Good score. The Donuts have got 15 points as well. Interesting. How big a score would it have been if you joined forces, I wonder. But 15 points, good effort. Jenny says Team Bath 19 with the countdown points. Yes, so you get the bonus points there. 9 plus 2 for Jew and Ant, half their team, and 9 points. Again, I wonder how well you would have done with a full complement tonight. Plus bonus, sorry, yes. That's okay, Jenny, I knew what you meant. Good stuff. Very disappointing, Andy says. 14 points in a traditionally strong area. I need to know my Quidditch. Yeah, again, I'll let you off that one. It's definitely not everyone's cup of tea. Pinky and the Brain have got 16 plus 2 for the conundrum as well. Well done. Any more? If you want to let me know, you absolutely can in the comments, please, and we'll move on. Millie says 14 points. 14 points for Millie. Good effort there too. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next one. Keep those comments coming in. Of course, I'll still give them shout outs even if I've moved on to the next round. But the next round is what comes next. And Juice says we would have done a lot better. Okay. Okay. Well, you can say how much you needed them then. I'm sure they'll appreciate that at least. They were definitely missed. Okay, so the what comes next round, I'm going to give you, for each question, it will be a sequence of 3 things. Complete general knowledge, okay, any subject goes, and after that 3rd thing I want you to tell me what comes next, okay? So hopefully, well, there's 1 point for each first and foremost, so it is going to be out of 15 points, so I'm not expecting massive high scores in this one because 15 points is the maximum. Let's see how well you do though. Of course, you've got a countdown conundrum on screen as well, a brand new one there, so please do work that one out as we go along. See if you can work it out. It's 2 bonus points if you get that correct. Okay, question number 1 in our what comes next round. Don Revy, Ron Greenwood, Bobby Robson. Don Revy, Ron Greenwood, Bobby Robson. What comes next? Question number 2. QWERTY. What comes next? QWERTY. What comes next? Yeah, most of them are 3 things and then what comes next. Some of them are a little bit more. But if you work that one out, then you can see the reason behind that. QWERTY. What comes next? Question 3 now. Question 3. George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh. What comes next? George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh. What comes next? Question number 4 now. Question 4. Spain, Germany, France. What comes next? Spain, Germany, France. What comes next? Okay, question number 5 now. Question 5. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer. What comes next? Dasher, Dancer, Prancer. What comes next? Question 6 now. Question number 6. Avon, Bedfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire. What comes next? Avon, Bedfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire. What comes next? I will explain what each of them is when we get to the answers, of course. Not just give you the answer of what comes next, but explain to you why. Because for some of them it's more obvious than others. Question 7. Roger, John, Brian. Who comes next? Roger, John, Brian. Who comes next? Okay then, question 8. Question 8, I'm going to list off some numbers. You might want to write these down so you can read them through. 16, 8, 11, 14, 9, 12, 5. What comes next? 16, 8, 11, 14, 9, 12, 5. What comes next? Okay, question number 9 now. Question 9. Dr. No, from Russia with Love, Goldfinger. What comes next? Dr. No, from Russia with Love, Goldfinger. What comes next? Okay, question number 10 now. Question 10, this one is Charles, William, George. What comes next? Charles, William, George. What comes next? Okay, question 11 now. Question 11. Say you'll be there. Two become one. Mama. What comes next? Say you'll be there. Two become one. Mama. What comes next? Okay, number 12 now. Joaquin Phoenix, Anthony Hopkins, Will Smith. Who comes next? Joaquin Phoenix, Anthony Hopkins, Will Smith. Who comes next? Question 13 now. Question 13. Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon. What comes next? Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon. What comes next? Okay, question 14 now. Question 14. Coventry Street, Waterworks, Piccadilly. What comes next? Coventry Street, Waterworks, Piccadilly. What comes next? And your final question then. Question 15 in our What Comes Next round. Sergeant, nurse, teacher. What comes next? This is really tricky. This is really tricky. Sergeant, nurse, teacher. What comes next? Okay, let me know which ones you want me to repeat. I'm sure there will be some for this one. So just put some numbers in the chat and I'll repeat those ones for you. And then we'll go through the answers. Remember to work out the countdown conundrum as well. And for the benefit of those of you watching for the first time, the subjects for these 3 quiz rounds we're going through, they change all the time. Sometimes subjects come back round again, but generally speaking I try and mix it up and we have different subjects, and we very rarely have the same subject 2 weeks in a row. So we always try and mix it up. Okay, number 12 again was Joaquin Phoenix, Anthony Hopkins, Will Smith. Who comes next? Jules asked me to repeat all of them. Probably can't do that. I can repeat 2 or 3 though if you want me to. If there's some you are really stuck on, or if the whole round is something you're really stuck on, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But I can repeat a few more. If people have some specific ones they think they might just want to hear again and stand a good chance at getting. But yeah, it can be quite a tricky round. Oh, good. All of them. Oh dear. Okay, does anybody else want anything repeated, or are you okay? Give you a few more seconds. And then we will go through the answers and see how well you did. Okay, no more comments coming up in the chat. That's fine. Ju says she's lost. Oh dear. Okay, all right. Well, hopefully all this will now make sense to you then if you struggled with any of these or all of these. Right, question number 1. I said Don Revie, Ron Greenwood, Bobby Robson. What comes next? The answer is Graham Taylor. They were England football managers in order. Question 2. QWERTY. They are the first 6 letters on the top row of your keyboard on any computer with a standard QWERTY keyboard, which is where the word QWERTY comes from. It's called a QWERTY keyboard. The next letter along is a U. QWERTY and then the letter U. Question 3. George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh. What comes next? It is Henry Cavill. They are all actors who played Superman on film. George Reeves originally, very long time ago. Christopher Reeve then, of course, in the original kind of trilogy of Superman film. Actually, they did 4, I think, didn't they? They got progressively worse, but the first 2 were good. Brandon Routh came in for Superman Returns, but then that never went anywhere. And then Henry Cavill took over, and he's now finished as well, won't be coming back. Okay, question 4. Spain, Germany, France. What comes next? Oh, Andy says he forgot Taylor and went for Venables. Oh, yeah, sorry, mate. Spain, Germany, France, though. Speaking of football, this is FIFA World Cup winners. The most recent is Argentina. So it was Spain, Germany, France, then Argentina. Question 5. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen. Santa's reindeer, of course. Question 6. Avon, Bedfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire. What comes next? It is Cambridgeshire. Those are the English counties in alphabetical order. Question 7. Roger, John, Brian. Who comes next? It's Freddie Mercury, because those are the members or the original lineup of Queen. Roger, John, Brian and Freddie. Question 8, all those numbers we had there, 16, 8, 11, 14, 9, 12, 5. The next number is 20. Those are numbers going round on a dartboard. Question 9, Dr. No from Russia with Love and Goldfinger. What comes next? This is, of course, James Bond films in the order of release. The next one was Thunderball. Those were the first 4 James Bond films, official James Bond films made, all of which starring Sean Connery. Question 10, Charles, William, George, what comes next? They are, the next one in line is Charlotte. It's the king and the line of succession. So King Charles as he is now, King Charles III, followed by his son William. Then you've got George and then Charlotte as the current line of succession. Question 11, Say You'll Be There, Two Become One, Mama, what comes next? It is Spice Up Your Life. Those were Spice Girls #1s in release order. Question 12, Joaquin Phoenix, Anthony Hopkins, Will Smith. Who comes next? It is Brendan Fraser. They are Best Actor Oscar winners. Brendan Fraser being the most recent of them. He is the next one in that sequence. Question 13, Triangle, Quadrilateral, Pentagon. What comes next? Hexagon. Sides, shapes with sides increasing, so obviously triangle with 3 up to a hexagon with 6. Question 14, Coventry Street, Waterworks, Piccadilly. What comes next? These are, of course, spaces on a Monopoly board. The next square in that sequence would be Go to Jail. Not the actual jail, the Go to Jail square. And question 15, Sergeant, Nurse, Teacher. What comes next? These are carry-on films in release order. I bet even if now I've said that, you're still not sure what the next one is because there were a lot of them. The answer is Carry On Constable. Sergeant, Nurse, Teacher, Constable. There you go. All right, and the answer for the Countdown Conundrum is Carnation. Carnation for 2 extra points. You can, of course, add on your 2 bonus points from the kids' question at the start if you haven't used it already, if you still have it to use. The next round, our potluck round, is the last chance you have to use those bonus points. So add them on in whichever one you feel you can. Right. Team scores then, tally them up, put them in the chat. We've already got 1 that's been submitted there. Well done to, was it Team Bath? 9 points, including that countdown. Yep, I think there was a trickier countdown conundrum, actually, that one. So good job getting that one right. Oops, Mark says 9 points for them as well. That's all right. That's fine. 7 plus 2. Andy, you got the countdown conundrum as well. Good effort there. So 9 points again. Pinky in the Brain, 9 plus 2 plus the extra 2 points there. Excellent stuff. And Donuts have scored 12 as well. That was tricky, yes. It was a tricky round. Any more? Feel free to add them in the comments. And I'll, of course, give you the usual shout out. Juice says 4 points. Oh, bless. That's okay. Again, with the full team, would have been a different story. And Millie says only got 5 again. Okay, it's a tricky round, in fairness. It's a tricky round, but well done anyway. All right. Let's move on then to our potluck round. Then potluck is round number 3. So for potluck, if you're not sure what that means, it is general knowledge. So literally 15 questions where any subject goes. And as always, it's 1 point for each unless otherwise stated. So there are some questions here that will be multiple point questions again. You've got another countdown conundrum there. So for another 2 points, see if you can work that one out. And of course, we'll go through the answers at the end. And then we will move on to our game shows round. Game shows round tonight, I'll just give you a quick heads up. We've got an 8 answer our survey says question. I promised I would try and do that for you this week, and I did. So you've got an our survey says question where the top 8 answers need to be worked out. And then we'll play catchphrase where I've got 3 new catchphrases, genuine catchphrase videos from the show, borrowed. So yeah, we'll see how well you do with those as well. Okay, that's all to come. Question number 1 in our potluck round. What is the Statue of Liberty made from? What is the Statue of Liberty made from? Question number 2. Which currencies are used in India, Gibraltar and Bulgaria? For 3 points, which currencies are used in India, Gibraltar and Bulgaria? Okay, question 3 now. What does the medical abbreviation ENT stand for in a UK hospital? What does the medical abbreviation ENT stand for in a UK hospital? Three points available there. 1 point for each correct word. ENT. What does that stand for? Okay, next question then. Question number 8. Sorry, we're skipping way too far ahead. Question 4. Let's try that one again. How many ways are there to win at noughts and crosses? For question 4, how many ways are there to win at noughts and crosses? Or tic-tac-toe. Same game. However you call it. How many different ways are there to win at noughts and crosses? Question 5 is multiple choice for you here. Question 5 is a Texas Blue Lacy a type of dog, a pig or a cheese? Is a Texas Blue Lacy a type of dog, a pig or a cheese? Question number 6 now. Question 6. This is true or false. True or false. The term to describe the sport golf is derived from the phrase gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. The term to describe the sport of golf is derived from the phrase gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. Is that what golf originally stood for? True or false? Okay, question 7 now. Which famous couple were called Billary by the tabloid press? Which famous couple were called Billary by the tabloid press? 2 points there, 1 point for each correct person in that couple. Okay, question number 8 now. Actual question 8 this time. In which decade was MTV launched? Music television. In which decade was MTV launched? I tell you what we'll do with that one. I'll give you 1 point if you correctly guess the right decade, and you get another point if you can tell me the exact year in that decade. So for 2 points. 1 point if you get the right decade, 1 point if you get the exact year. In which decade, and ultimately in which year, was MTV launched? Question number 9. What is Ikebana? to the Japanese people? What is Ikebana to the Japanese people? Ikebana. Okay then, your next question. This is question 10 for another 3 points. Question number 10. ABBA's first 3 UK #1 hit singles names all ended in a vowel. Name them. ABBA's first 3 UK #1 hit singles, their names all ended in a vowel. Name them. You don't need to put them in order, but you do need to tell me what the first 3 UK #1 hit singles were. And as a clue, all of the titles ended in a vowel. Question 11 now. Question 11. In CB radio slang, what is a bear trap, and a bear bite? They are all things that are connected. In CB radio slang, what is a bear trap, and a bear bite? Might give you a bit of a clue here if I tell you that most CB radio users, if there are any left today, drive vehicles long distance for a living. So there's a bit of a clue for you as to what those things could be. It's not very often CB radio comes up in conversation. I think that's the first time I've said it in a pub quiz, after many years of hosting these. In CB radio slang, what is a bear trap, and a bear bite, for 3 points? Question number 12 now. This one is for 3 more points. Question 12. Put these chocolate treats into the correct order with the earliest sold in the UK first. So you do need to put these in order this time. Put these chocolate treats that I'm about to read out to you into the correct order with the earliest sold in the UK first. Twix, Flake, Rolo. Put these chocolate treats into the correct order. Earliest sold in the UK first. Twix, Flake, Rolo. Question 13 now. Question 13 is another true or false question. American presidential elections take place on a Wednesday. True or false? American presidential elections take place on a Wednesday. Okay, question 14 now. Question 14. 3 more points for this one. What types of stone are the Taj Mahal, the Giant's Causeway, and the Great Pyramids of Giza made from? What types of stone are the Taj Mahal, the Giant's Causeway, and the Great Pyramids of Giza made from? 3 different types of stone, 1 point for each. You don't necessarily have to connect them to the correct answers. You could just guess 3 types of stone and you get 1 point for each, obviously, because I wouldn't know if you connected them to the wrong ones anyway. But name the 3 types of stone for the Taj Mahal, the Giant's Causeway, and the Great Pyramids. Has the video frozen, I wonder? Looks like it has our side. Hold on a minute. Looks like it has, hasn't it? That's no good, is it? Yeah, audio's fine. That's okay. Yeah, and you'll probably find it will disappear in a moment as well. Give me a moment. What's going on here? Oh no. I think my phone may have died, and that is what I use for my camera. That's a lot good, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, alright. Hold on then, everybody. Hold fire. That's a first, isn't it? You can all still hear me though, so that's one thing. Where did we get to? Let me just check. Alright, last question then while I try and sort this problem out. Question 15 was which fictional towns or villages were home to Miss Marple, Desperate Dan and Dr. Dolittle? Which fictional towns or villages were home to Miss Marple, Desperate Dan and Dr. Dolittle? You know what's happened? Even though my phone was charging and being used as a camera at the same time, the battery on my phone has actually died. That's not good. Let me see if I can just add a camera source. It might not be good quality, but let's see what I can do for you while you work that out. Have a look at the Countdown Conundrum as well. Hold on a moment. Okay. Let's just see if we could arrange it this way instead. If not, I might have to just go camera off, but we shall see. There we go. Alright, there's a camera. Let's go back. And let's go back there. Alright, so we're on the webcam now in case you haven't worked out. Let me just make sure that's looking okay everywhere else. We shall go through the answers in just a moment then. Yeah, very strange. It must be just too hot in here. I noticed it was getting hot. I think that stopped my phone from charging, which is really unfortunate. Let me just check the feed. There we go. Right, okay. Go back to... Let's see, we do have a backup. Alright, so we were on 3, weren't we? There we go, everybody. Let's bring the chat back in. Problem solved. Let's go through the answers then for this potluck round. Can I repeat question 15? Certainly. Right, question 15 again was which fictional towns or villages were home to Miss Marple, Desperate Dan and Dr. Dolittle? Oh, I've got to look here now. This is so confusing. Okay. Yeah, so which fictional towns or villages were home to Miss Marple, Desperate Dan and Dr. Dolittle for 3 more points. And with that said, we're going to go through the answers for this round. And we'll see how well you did. Exactly the same as before. And let me know what your scores are in the comments. This is the last chance you've got to use your bonus points for the kids' question. Question 1. The Statue of Liberty is made from copper. Question 2, the currencies of India, Gibraltar and Bulgaria, the Indian rupee, the Gibraltar pound and the Bulgarian lev. Question 3, ENT stands for ears, nose and throat. Question 4, how many ways are there to win in noughts and crosses? There are 8 different ways to win in noughts and crosses. Question 5, a Texas Blue Lacy is a type of dog. Question 6, the term to describe golf was derived from gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. That is false. It is completely false. Yeah. The word golf dates back to like the 1400s, and it was, you know, they weren't giving acronyms or initialisms to words then. So we know that that was actually false, although it is quite a popular myth spread around. Question 7, which famous couple were called Billary by the tabloid press? Yes, for question 3, ears, nose and throat is 3 points. Yes, 1 point for each correct word. Billary is Bill and Hillary Clinton. That's for 2 points. Question 8, in which decade and which year was MTV launched? So MTV was launched in the 80s. So if you put 80 something, then you got a point. If you put 1981, you get a bonus point because that was the actual year. Question 9. What is ikebana to the Japanese people? Okay, it is flower arranging. Ikebana, flower arranging. Question 10. Question number 10. ABBA's first 3 UK #1 hit singles, their names all ended in vowels. Name them for 1 point each. Waterloo, Mamma Mia and Fernando. Question 11, in CB radio slang, what is a bear trap and a bear bite? It is a police officer, that's a bear. A speed trap is a bear trap, and a bear bite is a speeding ticket. Question 12, put these chocolate treats into the correct order with the earliest sold in the UK first. The 3 I gave you were Twix, Flake and Rolo, but in the correct order, earliest first, Flake in 1920, then Rolo in 1937, followed by Twix in 1967. Question 13, true or false, American presidential elections take place on a Wednesday. It is false, they take place on Tuesdays. Question 14, what types of stone are the Taj Mahal, the Giant's Causeway and the Great Pyramids of Giza made from? It is marble, basalt and limestone for 3 more points. And finally, for question 15, the fictional towns or villages that were home to Miss Marple, Desperate Dan and Dr. Dolittle. It is St Mary Mead, Cactusville and Puddleby for Dr. Dolittle there. St Mary Mead, Cactusville and Puddleby. Right, right, with that said, tally up your scores. I'm going to tell you now the countdown conundrum answer is Spectator. Spectator is the answer for another 2 points. Flake, Rolo and Twix is a 3-point question. So if you got all 3 in the correct order, it's 3 points. You could then alternatively get 1 in the right place and 2 of them wrong, so that's 1 point. Or you get them all mixed up and they're not right, of course, then you get no points. So those are your only options there, but it is 3 points if you get them all correct. The conundrum had you foxed. Oh, I see. Well, yeah, they can't all be easy, I'm afraid. I can't believe that's happened to my phone, you know. Sorry. Let's just leave that charging. And I'm going to adjust my light as well, because that is now too bright. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, so team scores are coming in. Let's check out the chat and see what you've done here, guys. How well have you done? 19 points. Where were you? 19 points for Andy. Good effort there, mate. 13 points for Millie. The Donuts have got 22 points. Mark says 20 plus 2 for the Funky Chickens. Great score there as well. 18 points for Pinky in the Brain. 14 for Ant and Jew. Very good stuff. All right. Again, keep those comments coming in. We are going to move on now to our game shows round. I'm glad I sorted this camera out, I tell you. Right. Our survey says, here we go, everybody. So the survey says question is at the top. This is where you do put answers in the chat. I'll invite you all to have one guess per team now. And then once we've gone through that, we'll then open the floor and you can all start having as many guesses as you like until you can collectively guess all 8 answers for this Family Fortune style question. Name something you'd find at the bottom of the ocean. What do you think the top 8 answers were from a survey of 100 people? Start guessing in the chat, please, and let's see how many you can guess, if you can get all 8. Just the one our survey says question we do for those who don't know, and then we'll go on to play some catchphrase. I've got some new funny ones for you. All right. Good guesses coming in so far. Keep them coming in. Once I've seen a few more guesses, then I'll start going through them, because some of you might want to guess the same thing if you think it's going to be a similar high-ranking one. Kudos to the people who get the top answer, of course. Oh, good guesses. Okay, all right. First one we had coming in, and do keep guessing if you haven't had one guess yet already. So, we've got Shell from Ant and Jew there, our Britzillions team. Is Shell on the list? Shells, yes. Shells is number 3 on the list, the 3rd most popular answer. Next up in the list, I can see we've got Millie saying treasure chests. Okay, so is treasure there? It's the 6th answer. The 6th answer there from our survey was treasure or treasure chest. Again, that's fine. Andy says sunken ship. Gabby and Mark have also gone with shipwrecks. Okay, let's see. Is a shipwreck in our list? It's the 5th answer. 5th answer. Still missing that top answer though. All right, next ones we've got the seabed. Is the seabed there? Let me just check the rest of my list. And it's not there. The seabed is not there. Maybe things that make up or are on the seabed are there. Keep the guesses coming in. Ed says sand. Is sand the list on the list? Sand is the top answer, specifically sand. The seabed is made up of lots of different things, so I can't give it for seabed, but sand is exactly the top answer. Mark says coral. Is coral going to be there? That is number 7 on the list. Good stuff. What else have we got? He may live in a pineapple under the sea, but SpongeBob SquarePants is not there, I'm afraid, Ant. I appreciate the guess, though. Mark says rocks as well. We've got rocks from the Funky Chickens. Is rocks one of our missing answers? It is. That's the 4th answer. What else have we got? Just make sure I didn't miss any before. I think we're good. Right. Ed's up next. Keep the guesses coming now. Ed's up next with fish. Let's see if fish is there. Fish is number 2. Very good there. We've got one left. The least popular answer. Crab. Is crab there? No. But fish. I'll tell you now. Fish is the only one that's related to. Well, I would say living things. So yeah, fish is there, but like crabs, no. What else could it be? Millie says seaweed. Is seaweed that missing answer? Is it there? Our survey says it is. Well done. You found all 8 answers from the Our Survey Says question. Very good. So sand, fish, shells, rocks, shipwrecks, treasure, coral and seaweed make up our top 8. Yes, and you said seaweed as well there just at the same time. Good stuff. You have worked out the top 8. Good teamwork, everybody. You worked them out quite quickly, even though there was 8 of them this time. We normally don't do as many as that, but still very good. Next up then is our 3 catchphrases. Alright, okay. Oh, that's typical, isn't it? Give me 1 second. Let's bring that back. Oh, and here we go. Why did the sand blush? Don't know. Why did the sand blush? Why did the sand blush? I think I've heard this one before, but I want to see it in the chat anyway. Come on, let's see the punchline. Hurry up. Because the seaweed. Of course it did. Yes, Mark said that one before as well. Good stuff. I love a cheesy joke. No problems there at all. Very good. All right, okay. So let me move across a bit. Where are we going? That way. I can't work it out. There we go. Okay. So your first catchphrase is there. I'm going to ask you some questions now. Guess in the comments. Okay, guess in the comments for these ones. And what's going to happen is, if you're the first person to guess correctly, I'm going to spin the wheel, and the wheel will remove a square from the board, and then you are the first person to guess if you are the first person to get the question correct. I've got to incorporate quiz into it somehow. So, which sign of the zodiac is represented by scales? Guess in the comments, please, and let's see which square we're going to be revealing. Which sign of the zodiac is represented by scales? We're going to be removing number 6 from the board. Lots of you in the chat there straight away guessing Libra. I'm sure there'll be more guesses coming in. We'll give it another second. Yes, okay, lots of you guessing Libra. I can tell you now, Jenny, you were the fastest, so let's remove number 6 from the board. If you can work out what it is, you are welcome to guess first. If not, you can pass and we'll move on. And then other people are allowed to guess once you've either passed or enough time has passed without you saying anything. We'll do a similar question again. Which sign of the zodiac is represented by twins this time? We'll remove 6 from the board and let's see which one we're going to be going. Jenny says pass. Yeah, there's not much given away there, is there? That's better. A bit more central. Okay, we're going to be removing number 3 next time. Ooh, probably not going to give you much either. Plenty of guesses have come in. Who's got this one right first? The answer is Gemini, and Millie's fastest this time. So let's remove 3 from the board. Yeah, still not doing much. Feel free to have a guess though. We'll move on to the next question. But I will keep an eye on the chat and see if you've got any ideas or just say pass. Final one of our zodiac questions. Which sign of the zodiac is represented by fish? Which sign of the zodiac is represented by fish? Let's spin the wheel. See which we're going to be moving. Having his day in court. It looks like he's going to quite an official building. I see what you're doing there, but I'm afraid it's good, but it's not right. We are going to be removing number 9. Anybody else is welcome to guess now as well at the catchphrase. We have got guesses in now of Pisces. Andy, you were fastest. Let's remove number 9. This will probably be just as useful. And we'll remove number 9. Okay, hold on. Typically, things have frozen up again here. Let me just make sure the feed's still working here. Give me a moment, guys. That's such a pain. How are things looking your side? Alright. Looks like things have been keeping up. Let's reset things again, my side. No. Alright, somebody let me know in the chat. This doesn't normally happen. Andy says no idea. Pixies? Pixies? No. I might have to just switch screens and come back to this one. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, it has all frozen here, so... And it's not resetting this time either. Oh boy, try one more time. Can one of you confirm in the chat if things are moving fine on your side? We might have to play blind for a minute. I'll carry on as if it is until I see different. Let me ask the next question. All fine, all looking good. I don't understand it. Pixies, predictive text. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, alright, next question then. Let's spin the wheel as well. Which creatures gather collectively in a smack? Is it salmon, sardines, or jellyfish? Which creatures gather collectively in a smack? Is it salmon, sardines, or jellyfish? The wheel isn't looking. Okay, alright. Well, I'll keep it going as if it is. Alright, number 4 has come up on the wheel. And the correct answer for this question, some of you look like you might have not guessed this correctly. Let's have a look. Is anybody going to guess it? Sardines, salmon, and jellyfish have all been guessed. Of the 3 I gave you, jellyfish is the correct answer. So we're going to remove number 4 now. He says, hoping it works. Number 4 has been removed from the board now. And I'm removing it from the wheel. So Gabby, please do have a guess. As you were the only person to say jellyfish initially. Ju then followed it up with jellyfish. But Gabby, you were first. Have a guess in the chat if you can work this one out. In the meantime, the next question. Which author created Hercule Poirot? Which author created Hercule Poirot? At Death Store is good, but it's not right. I'm afraid it is not quite right. Anybody else is welcome to guess now. You're all back in play. And also that next question. Millie says, I'm sure she's meant to say Agatha Christie, but that's the first comment I saw coming up there. Let's see. Yes, the answer is Agatha Christie. Let's just see which is the next number we're going to be removing. Eight is the one we're going to be removing. Let's remove number 8. Alright. Hopefully that removed it okay. 8's now gone. Removing it from the wheel as well. Your next question is, which author created Holly Golightly? Which author created Holly Golightly? Won't mark you down for spelling. Millie says knocking on Death's Door. Knocking on Death's Door is the correct answer. Never mind the author question. That can roll over to the next one now. Let me think. What ones have we got left to remove? Because I can't see it properly. So we'll go 1, 2, and 5 and 7. Apologies if that made the sound go funny, but it's like I said, frozen my side. And there you have it. So knocking on Death's Door, right. Hopefully that has now closed everything off again. I believe it has. I'm just checking the feed, but it's obviously a little bit behind. But the question still stands. Have a guess in the chat. Which author created Holly Golightly? Because I am now going to bring in the next catchphrase. And we need to switch it over to a new wheel as well. Again, maybe it doesn't work on your screen, but the wheel's working fine on mine. Okay. Right, let me switch this over. And the question still stands. I mean, if you don't know the answer, we can move on to another question. I haven't seen any comments on that one. Oh, there we do. Jenny says Truman Capote. We do have a guess. Truman Capote is the correct answer. Jenny, well done. Right, spin the wheel. Let's see which one we're going to be removing. And let me see if I can just get this. Reset the UI. No, it's still not doing it. My usual trick last time this happened didn't work. Right, number 5. We're going to remove number 5. That might be a key one, actually. That might be a good one to have removed. Okay, your next question. Which building has the most rooms between Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle? Choose one. First one to guess the correct one of the two can have another guess. Removing 5 from the wheel and spinning again. Any guess there as to what the catchphrase could be? Lots of guesses for Buckingham Palace. Is anybody else going to take a stab at what at the other one? Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle? Right, most of you have gone with Buckingham Palace, but Ant's chucked in Windsor Castle there. Windsor Castle is the correct answer, and I'm going to be removing the second square now. You get to guess now as well. I'm keeping an eye out in the chat for any guesses, but Ant gets to have the next guess. We're moving 2 from the wheel, and the next question is, whilst I keep an eye on that chat, in which German city could you visit Oktoberfest? In which German city could you visit Oktoberfest? And we've got guesses in the chat coming in. Very good. Everybody's saying Munich so far. Munich is the correct answer. But Millie said it first. We're going to be removing number 1. Removing number 1 now. And so now number 1 has been removed. Millie, feel free to have another guess. We'll move on to the next question. Your next question is, what was Wendy's surname in Peter Pan? What was Wendy's surname in Peter Pan? Jump in the chat. Let's see. What are your guesses this time then for this one? Just chilling? No, it's good, but it's not right. Wendy Darling. Yes, Darling is the correct answer. Several of you getting it right in the chat there. Well done. You're completely correct there. It is Darling. Which one are we going to be removing for this one? Let's see if it's going to be of more use to you. Right, it is number 7. Ooh, is it number 7? Yes, there we go. It's just stopped. Number 7. There we go. Number 7 has been removed now. And removed it from the wheel. Okay. Have a guess in the chat then. Jenny, you got first guess there. Jenny and Team Bath, you get to have a guess. What do you think it could be? Or say pass. And the next question, your next question is, which company introduced the Jaffa Cake to the United Kingdom? Which company introduced the Jaffa Cake to the United Kingdom? For that one, the wheel's spinning again. And we are going to be removing number 3. Is it going to be 3? Yes, it's number 3, right. Number 3, and Jenny's going to pass on with the catchphrase McVitie's. McVitie's is the correct answer. What a mark. Okay, so, and yes, Sue and the donuts have got it there. Let me remove number 3. The floor was opened up though after Jenny passed, and Gabby has jumped in with Chill Pill. I can tell you stolen Mark's thunder there because she did guess after Jenny said pass immediately. Chill pill is the correct answer. So we've removed 3 from the board. So if I now remove 4, 6, 9, and 8, that should show you the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. It is chill pill. Very good. We've got one more to do. So I'll ask you your next question. Yes, well done, Mark. It was chill pill. Obviously, the chat roll goes quite quickly sometimes. I'm going to ask you your next question in just a moment while I reset this board. So that's all done. Right. In theory now, that has reset. This is so annoying for me. I'm glad you can still see things. Okay. Next one is now up on screen. The last one of the evening then. Let's do this. Your next question is... what do US citizens use for what the British call... Oh, I've just scrolled away. What names do US citizens use for what the British call tights? What names do US citizens use for what the British call tights? Four is showing. You've got a freebie there. Couple of guesses there for stockings. Some of you are saying pantyhose. Which one is it for tights? Oh, I didn't do 4, that's why. Yeah, I see that now. That's okay. Yeah, you've got a freebie there. Thankfully, I can just see that on my screen, on my other screen now, and that's not giving away too much. All right. Let's see what we're going to reveal. The answer is pantyhose. The first person to say pantyhose in the chat was Millie. Although Jenny, Sue, you all got that as well there. Pantyhose is the correct term. We're going to be removing number 9. Number 9 for you there. Number 9 has been removed now, I think. So now you've got 9 and you've got 4 to go by. Looking in the chat to see if Millie, you've got any answers. Oh, okay, bless. You said it wrong first, so Jenny can have a go. All right, Jenny, if you want to guess, that's absolutely fine. Have a guess at what you think the catchphrase is, and I'm going to tell you the next question for everybody else to work out. Same principle as before. What name do US citizens use for what the British call tracksuit bottoms? If you were wearing tracksuit bottoms, what would an American call them? Let's see how many of you can guess this one right. No clue for Jenny. Okay, right, let's move on then. Anybody else can have a guess now what they think the catchphrase is, the final one of the evening, but also, what do you think? Yes, tracksuit bottoms. We've got joggers, we've got sweats. The correct answer... Millie says she's done it all again. It's sweatpants. I need the full name, please. Sweatpants is the full name, and Gabby got it right fastest. So the next square we're going to be revealing is number 4. Okay, number 4 is going away this time, but I think 4 has already gone, hasn't it? Because that wasn't there before. All right, so we're going to spin the wheel again. Number 4's already gone. It didn't reset fully. This one we're going to... Okay, number 2. This one might give it away, actually. Number 2 has been removed. Your next question then is same again, but this time for a bowler hat. What do Americans call a bowler hat? But yeah, Gabby, you can guess first, based on the previous question. If you know what we've got there. Spinning the wheel. Whoever gets the bowler hat question right, if indeed you do, we're going to be removing square number 5. No idea, says Gabby. All right. Let's bring up the next question. Yeah, bowler hat. Who is... No, it's not a top hat. It's not a top hat. That is a different kind of hat to a bowler hat. Anybody else have a guess at this one? What do Americans call a bowler hat? If not, I can bring in another question. I'll tell you the answer for that one. Mark says a derby hat or derby hat. Not teaching against time, Ant could guess, but no. Oh, racing against time. No, not racing against time. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Derby is the correct answer though, or derby. So let's remove number 5 then from the board. Number 5. What's going on in that catchphrase then? What could it be? The next one we're going to be removing, if Mark doesn't guess it and it's not followed up by another guess, will be number 3. Okay, number 3 will be removed next. Yeah, derby hat was the correct answer for that one. To remove number 3, you need to get the following question correct. Which brotherly song was a hit single for the Hollies? Which brotherly song was a hit single for the Hollies? No, it's not. It's not Chasing Time. I will remove square number 3 if anybody gets that Hollies question right. Although really, I think you basically got everything you need from that picture already. I can just see it now on my other screen. Let's see, has anybody else guessed it? Yes, it is He Ain't Heavy. That's correct. So let's remove number 3 then. It's not Chasing the Clock. Yeah, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother is the name of the song. Mark, you got it right again. Fastest. Does anybody... you can have the next guess at what you think this is. Our final catchphrase of the evening. Let me know in the chat. You have got everything you need, really. No other numbers being removed is going to help you as much as what you've currently got. At least I don't think so, anyway. Let's do another question anyway. The next question. Name one of the 2 islands that Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled to. We're going to be removing number 1 next. I would advise you, since you're all going with time and clock, ignore the fact there is a clock. Think about the structure that is running away and what's happening to it. Yes, so name one of the 2 islands that Napoleon was exiled from. And I have had a few guesses in now. Let's have a look, see if anyone's got it right. Elba, Gabby says, and St. Helena. Those are the main 2. Well done to Andy, well done to Gabby. But Gabby got a correct answer in first. Elba is one of those 2 answers. Let's remove now, I think it's number 1, isn't it? Number 1. And removing that from the wheel as well. Keeping up with this now. Have a guess. What is happening to that structure? It's not the whole of the building, is it? It's just part of it. What is happening? Looks like we might have to move on. They never normally take this long for you guys to guess. Yeah, Mark must have been right with steeplechase. Oh, where with that? Did I miss that one? I can't see that. Mark, He Ain't Heavy. Race Against Time. I can't see that on my chat roll. I might not have come up quickly enough. It is steeplechase though. That is the correct answer. Mark said St. Lucia. How How strange. That one's not coming. That's on a separate screen. That's not even related. Well, look, steeplechase is the correct answer. I mean, if Mark, you said that, and that's very good of you, Gabby, to point that out. It's not coming up in the list that I can see here. Not that I can see, anyway. No. Okay. Wow. Steeplechase it is. That is the correct answer. Well done, Mark. You get the points, so to speak, for that final round. Let's just move on because, like I said, I've had some technical problems this evening, which is a real shame. But let's move on to the final page. It was Mark. Well done. I saw it. Ant confirms in the chat as well. Lovely. All right. Yeah. Well, that's all good. Thank you for that confirmation. And in theory, I'm now on my last page before we say our goodbyes this evening. Thank you all. Very strange that both my camera and everything would crash like that. I think it might be a temperature thing because it's pretty warm in this little office I'm in at the moment. So I will address that for next time. That might have been the problem anyway. Some updates probably due as well, but hey, it's a rarity. Appreciate you sticking with me though. That is the end of the quiz. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Before you move on, that would be much appreciated. And do check out the link for other places where you can support me as well. Every description of every video has a link in it. So if you're on any other social media platform and you like your quiz content, which you obviously do if you got this far in particular, please do follow me elsewhere as well. Particularly over on TikTok, there's loads of quick content you can consume there if you use that platform. Okay, all right, yes, thank you. I can see some of you adding likes onto the video now. Great stuff. Right, thanks everybody. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you all same time next time for more of the same fun. Cheers. Good night.